What's going on, guys? Welcome back, and let's get into the MLB action. Saturday, May 17th, this will be a full card we're going to break down. I'll give you my thoughts, and I have 5 best bets that I will be on for Saturday's card. As always, guys, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and join us right down below at TBM Sports. Completely free to do so. All that does is let YouTube know that you like what I'm talking about and keep you informed with my sports picks each and every single day, okay? But let's get into Outlier. That is the platform that we use to break down the best bets, and I will run the board using this, and I do recommend you guys give the 7-day free trial a look. If you want to sign up with Outlier, there is a link down below in the description. It is one of the more invaluable tools if you are a bettor each and every single day. I will show you guys some props in terms of features, as well as just finding the best number available. It's something where it is truly amazing how wrong and off these sports books can vary from bet to bet. Just yesterday, for example, I had a member of the Discord give out a future play for a prop that was offered at 60, 70, or 80 to 1, pretty much in every other sports book. And then there was one that was that outlier at 150 to 1 odds, and that is a must-play value bet, even if the low probability of it happening does take place. And for those of you that are curious, it is posted over on the Discord, so if you want to join, links are down below, completely free to get involved there. All right, but let's get into the best bets. The first game on the card we are going to get into is the Subway Series, and it's kind of cool how they're doing this back and forth here. A little rivalry weekend as we see the Yankees, the Mets, the Cubs, White Sox. So within these cities, even Washington and Baltimore for that matter, it has been kind of fun to watch take place. Pittsburgh and Philly, the Battle of Ohio, Battle of Texas, I mean, St. Louis, Kansas City. It is truly kind of impressive that they've been able to do this. And even with the battles of Los Angeles, albeit we may not get too much of a fight today from the Angels. We'll talk about that, as that is the last game on the card. But Mets and Yankees, all right, game 2 of this Subway Series. This is very impressive for a couple reasons. I think the Mets are live as a little short underdog in this game. I think this is something where yesterday it was just kind of a dud, a little bit of a revenge spot, potentially for Soto. But I think it's more of a revenge spot for the Yankees, and that's kind of where I was on that train yesterday. If you wanted my opinion, we didn't do a video yesterday. I didn't put out picks, and that's just kind of what happened. But nonetheless, I kind of went in the contrarian direction. I thought that the Yankees had more reasons to have revenge than Juan Soto and the Mets in that spot. The Yankees ended up winning 6-2 in a decision where it is going to be kind of funny to see what happens today, because the Mets do have the better pitching matchup going against Clark Schmidt. We do get the likes of Griffin Canning, and very impressive for that young righty. 5-1 on the season, 2.36 ERA. We'll see what happens. I kind of like the storyline behind the Mets a little bit on a zigzag. At plus 115, that's where I would lean. In this game, would not shock me if it soars over the total set at 9.5. Okay, and that's kind of where we're going to look at Yankee Stadium. Short porch, winds blowing out the left. Let's stay hot there, Aaron Judge, and deliver in that regard. Next game that we are going to get into. The Chicago White Sox and the Chicago Cubs, okay? This is kind of where you look into the bludgeoning. We had that game early on yesterday. Wind was blowing out at Wrigley. That's never a good recipe for unders, and we did get that delivering by the Cubs as they put up 13 runs. And today, we do get Burke going against Matthew Boyd. I think this is another game where I don't want to say the White Sox are live, but I think that we will get some runs as well. And the same old story, winds blowing out 20 miles per hour at Wrigley. So this came down to, do I like the Cubs minus 1.5, or am I more comfortable with them scoring 6 runs? Okay, and that's what's kind of led me to my best bet. And this is where we're going to use Outlier to kind of make that determination. And if we dive into the plus money price at over 6.5, on Caesars is the best odds available, but I do like the 5.5 at minus 137. Gives us a little bit of a cushion, and you can even see in the last 10 games, only really having 30% of a cash rate going against the Miami Marlins And I think that's something where it's a testament to the team that they've been playing and where they were playing. But personally, I think this one goes over. We got a great potential for the long ball today with the wind blowing out. It's always a explosive day at Wrigley, and the Cubs scored 6 in one frame yesterday in itself. So I do like the Cubs over 5.5. That is an official best bet at -137. Next game we're going to get into is the Detroit Tigers traveling up north, playing the Toronto Blue Jays, and the Blue Jays are plus money home dog. Not going to get involved with this game. No name pitcher for Detroit, for the Toronto Blue Jays yet at this time. Detroit won 5-4 yesterday. Both teams putting up 10-plus hits in that contest. I do trust the named pitcher for Detroit. However, I'm not getting any Torkelson props, so I wonder if he is not going to be in the lineup. Great adjustments he's made in his progression throughout his career in having a outstanding 2025 season thus far. So I just want a little bit more clarity in this game, and unfortunately, if we're doing this video in the wee hours of the morning, I'm not going to be getting involved in Detroit. But if you look at the handle, you can kind of see between the lines here a little bit of a Toronto Blue Jays action here. In terms of the run line, in terms of -140, I think that's kind of where you would lend if you weren't going to take Toronto. A little zigzag too, coming off a loss, +120 on the money line, even well. Next game we're going to get into, Washington and Baltimore. This game came this close to making my card. Kind of intriguing what we're having going on. 12-plus mile-per-hour winds, Camden Yards. Yesterday we saw a 4-3 victory. Had a little bit of a sprinkle. I didn't stay out of the game. We had that game kind of seal off in the 9th inning as the Nationals took a 4-3 lead. And the impressive thing for me was Mackenzie Gore. And the impressive thing for me is how Baltimore can't score runs with runners on base. All right. And you go back into this box score and you really kind of break the game down, and you can understand what actually happened as the quite frankly put, the Baltimore Orioles hit the crap out of the ball. They took advantage of one of the Nationals' better pitchers. And I think that right now you look at even kind of the thing with Baltimore, they have a horrible strikeout rate, but I just think that the levee has to break in Baltimore right now off of this 4-game skid that they've been on. This one does set up quite well for them. The only thing that does give me kind of pause is where we're at from a pitching perspective, and that's going to be very bleak as we talk about the Baltimore Orioles. But for me, guys, it would be Baltimore. The best way I would approach this game is I think that we have a very, very good chance at a Baltimore team total over. I think that you look at Gibson, that's almost an auto fade, 13-plus ERA going against Irvin. I think that if you trust Baltimore's bats to do well in this spot, you really have to get involved with the over. I think it's still too low. Camden Yard, wind blowing out. I don't quite frankly get involved until that wind gets above 14 miles per hour. But that's where I would definitely lean towards the over 10 here as a price at -108. This close, okay? I'm just telling you guys, this was the first game off of my card that, I don't like to just keep on betting, throwing picks out there, but this one was this close to finding it into the top 5 for the day. Okay, the next game, Tampa Bay and Miami. This is not a handicap game. Stay away from this one. There's nothing tangible from an edge perspective that would lean me one way or another in this contest. The only thing that you could really get into is, you like a total going over. I don't like Tampa Bay's offense right now. Fading Sandy Alcantara, that's something that you could get into as well. But I'm not laying -145 for the Rays at home, even if they are playing the dreadful 17-26 Miami Marlins. Next game up, Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. You got to ask yourselves, can the Pirates play baseball today? Zach Wheeler is kind of where I would target this game. I think a little sharper move, going under the 1.5 earned runs for Zach Wheeler. You want to look at that at +105. You can see dating back pretty much through the month of April, outside of the Atlanta and St. Louis back-to-back starts where he allowed 5 and 4 respectively, he has had 30% hit rate, but this is something where you look into kind of the Pirates here. I think this is a fade spot at home. He did well against Cleveland's bats. I just really, quite frankly, don't see the Pirates getting any earned against Zach Wheeler. I think he stays hot, so look for maybe one earned run max. And even the one thing that will kind of take him out of this more times than not is he stays a little bit too late in the game. He gets his pitch count up, so he does have the potential for little backdoor hit with a runner in scoring position, say 6th or 7th inning. So that's kind of where I lean towards the under plus 105. Little sharper action for me. That is not an official play, just letting you guys know where I'm at. Also, I do like in the Philadelphia-Pittsburgh game, the minus 1.5 run line for the Phillies is something that's very attractive. Also, you want to get into kind of the Phillies on DraftKings to not bat in the 9th inning. That is a bet that almost made my card as well. If the Phillies would have lost yesterday, this would have been an auto play, but they came back as that game progressed. But I would lean Phillies not bat in the 9th, under earned runs for Wheeler, and we would lean towards the run line, but no official play. That's just kind of how I view that game. Cincinnati and Cleveland, I think we're going to get a little slugfest down at the Great American Ballpark as we look at Ciccone going against Suter. The Guardians fight back. I think the Reds are hot right now, hitting the baseball. Plus 110 at home, so a little bit of respect there for the Cleveland Indians. And as you see, minus 125 on the money line. That's probably where you look for a zigzag as well. 25-19 on the season, but I think the over is live as we look at what we have going on down by the Ohio River, and that's where we're going to see the wind blowing out as well. Still not over that threshold, but hot enough. The sticky kind of air. I think that Cincy Cleveland goes over the total. It's set at 9.5 with a little bit of juice, but if you wanted to find a flat 9 out there in the market, that is something that you have to pay a little bit more for. But over 9.5 minus 115 would be kind of where I lean in that direction. Okay, but no official play. Next game, we will have a prop. This is where we're going to look into a pitcher for the Texas Rangers as you look at the Houston Astros playing in this game too. And I think that it does set up for the Astros, for the Astros slugger there within Jose Altuve. He had a dud yesterday. He had a walk and a run scored. That was a prop I did favor a little bit. I thought he was going to have a big game. Historically speaking, that did set up well. Didn't play it. But if you want to get involved with a little bounce back for Jose, no hits yesterday. I could see that definitely being live today. And that's something where I would look into that. All right. But no play for me that I'm giving out within the hits market, but I will go into the pitching market. Okay. Tyler Mahle, that's where we're going to look into his kind of performances. Okay, 4-1 on the season, 1.47 ERA. Stay hot at home. We're going to go under hits allowed. Okay, I know against the Astros, this is scary. The Astros can definitely flash the bats every once in a while and knock a pitcher out early. But we get minus 135 under 5.5 hits. I think this is something that has hit 80% of his last 10 games. There was a performance against San Fran in Minnesota where he did kind of unfortunately not cover that, but hey, we'll take the odds. I think that there could be even a potential that Houston's a little bit sluggish. I do want to make a note that when he does, he has pitched against the Dodgers at home, only giving up 2 hits. Tampa Bay 1 hit, Boston 2 hits. So he has the potential to really keep down some good offenses. And there are a lot of offenses here that are not good offenses, so that's a story for another day. But anyways, I do feel that this is something where we get 5 innings. I don't think he gives up 6 hits. I firmly like this bet, and I won't bet it up over minus 140, but at minus 135, that is a official play for me, okay? Next game, St. Louis and Kansas City. No play for me. Miles Mikolas on the bump. That's kind of where you look into the same kind of thing. I'm not going to bet a game unless I like a player specifically with a pitcher that has not been named. So no play for me in St. Louis and Kansas City. The next game we will have an official play in, and this is going to be one of those plays that I raise my eyebrows, and you guys will get me tomorrow, but I have to bet it nonetheless. We have a massive surge kind of going on here within this game in terms of, I think there's going to be a ton of offense. All right. So I'm calling my shot. I think Fenway, we do get the wind blown out to the Green Monster, and Holmes taking on Lucas Giolito. Hang it up. This veteran pitcher, 5.51 ERA. I think the Boston Red Sox tag him for 5, personally, at least 5. This is where you look into kind of his game logs, and it's been a little bit of a mixed bag. Gave up 10 hits to Texas at home, and that's something where I think this is very telling. In Fenway, I think he's going to get absolutely rocked. 6 runs, 6 earned against the Royals, against Texas at Fenway. This is kind of where I'm leaning towards the Braves. I just need the Braves to come through in this spot. But we're going to go Braves, Red Sox over the total of 9. I think this number will move as the game gets, or day gets later and later. But I think that when the Braves and Red Sox square off, we will get a lot of run support. Just need the Braves to show up. Okay, they've been a really tough team to handicap because they go on spurts, and they do have the same lineup that, pretty much for the most part, pretty much the same darn team, except for, kind of the Acuna news once again. But even without him, guys, I still think that they have a lot of solid kind of core players that they could really be doing a little bit more damage. However, they have won 4 of their last 5. It's just they're winning games 4-2, 3-4, 2. It's very low scoring. So we're kind of going out on a limb here with the Atlanta Braves that they do get a little bit more run support at Fenway. And, if you look at their past games, it's a bet that's going to make you question this pretty much across the board. But I think that Boston does show up. I think the pitching matchup bodes well for Atlanta. And as long as we get 5-6 runs from Boston, you're probably asking myself, why are we not betting the Boston team total? It's just, honestly, it's because there could be some weird stuff going on from both ends of the dugouts. So I think this is where we set up for an over 9. I'm playing it. That's my play. It's not a play that I'm in love with, but I'm trusting my numbers, and I got to fade these pitchers and go with the profitable home field. So give me over 9, Boston and Atlanta, excuse me. Next game, Minnesota and Milwaukee. That's a game where you could get into kind of a pitching conversation, but I think it's albeit probably the biggest coin flip, maybe outside Cincinnati, Cleveland on the board between Minnesota and Milwaukee that you want to get into. Okay. I think that Minnesota is rightly favored. However, if you do want to grab some plus money, albeit almost dead even within Milwaukee at home, and I can make the argument that they do have the better pitcher, but as far as my money goes, if we want to look at Pablo Lopez, he has, he can flash a little bit. So that's something where I think that it's going to be a back and forth game, and potentially having the Twins on the road doing well. It's just really truly a no edge game. So this is one of the ones on today's card that I would firmly stay away personally. Okay. Rockies and D-backs. Funny how that total yesterday, you run into this issue every once in a while where one team gives you a full 8 runs, and the Rockies had no run support. So outside of Coors Field, I tend to stay away from the Rockies, and outside of, a very dominant pitcher going against a very bad pitcher, I try to stay away from -2.5 run lines, and that's what we saw yesterday. If you do want to get involved, that would probably be my recommendation. If you want to back Zach Gallen, D-backs team total is way too high. The one bet that I would probably do, maybe a little alternate team total for the D-backs or this game, maybe a little alternate run line for this matchup. I think if you take the -2.5 here, you can see on your screen, it drops it down to +105. Not enough to get involved, but it is something to make it a little bit more juicy for you guys, and that's kind of where I would lend towards, but no official play. All right, next one we do have an official play in, and this is going to be a dead-on zigzag we get from Emerson Hancock and Nick Pivetta. Padres and Mariners. All right, we are going for the Padres at home. Okay, I love you guys. That comment down below, and you have to remember something. The Padres are one of the best ROI teams, the most profitable teams in baseball this season. Unfortunately, there has been a couple occurrences where we win bets, but then I have given out some bets that ended up being kind of duds, where the Padres completely dropped the ball. And it is what it is. But I still think the Padres, I mean, they got, I think, blanked yesterday. If I'm not mistaken. No, they ended up putting up 1, but they lost 5-1 at home against Seattle. Okay. Not going to happen today. If it does, we tip our cap, we lose our money, we move on, we live the bet another day. But this is a bet that you can't leave on the table. So I'm going San Diego to not bat in the 9th inning, -125. If you want to get into pretty much just, you can bet this one across the board. You can go run line, Padres team total, even kind of combining some interesting things within the prop market, right? DraftKings has great offerings within combined bases, combined hits. This is a teed up game for San Diego, in my personal opinion, and that's how I feel about it. So the best bet, though, I made for my money outside, if you want to lay some +116 run line action, not going to do it. Just give me the Padres here to not bat in the 9th at -125. One of my favorite bets, readily available on DraftKings. That's how I'm going to attack that game. All right. And then we do have 2 last games to talk about. The Sacramento Athletics going against San Francisco Giants. This is an over for me. I'm taking the over 8. This is where we sit at -114. Logan Raup going against Luis Severino. Personally, I think the Giants are hitting the cover off of the baseball. We do get a very strong breeze going out to the Bay out there in San Francisco, and I think this is going to be where we see a 9-1 victory by San Francisco yesterday. Get avenged, where I think the Athletics do a little bit more damage offensively, but I still think we get the same production. San Francisco, they have been doing their job offensively, winning respectively, scoring 9, 7, and 10 in their last 3. The Athletics, on the other hand of this argument, giving up 19, 9, and 9 in 3 straight losses. For me and my money, this is probably my favorite bet of the day, going over 8 at -114 as we look into this game, going over the total. And for more sake of argument, it's going to be a little chilly, but we do get some massive wind dead out the center, 24 miles per hour as I currently am recording. That can all change, obviously, but that is the expected forecast at game time. I think this is a bad number. Maybe I'm missing something, but favorite bet of the day will be Athletics and Giants. Thank you all for sticking around to the end of the video, where I did add a little tidbit where, a lot of people just jump ahead to the end. That's fine too, but we will be doing things a little differently on the channel and the way I give you guys picks and deliver them. But that's going to be kind of my extra, I guess you put an extra little sticker on this one in terms of the profitability and favorability of that bet. Okay. Angels, Dodgers, nothing really to say on this one, although I'm glad as hell I did not bet the game last night because I did like the Dodgers. This is one where we look into kind of what's happening. You do get Clayton Kershaw making his return to action. So a little lefty on lefty duel as Ty Anderson takes on one of the best left-handed pitchers of all time. And coming back for another season, very impressive here. So we'll see how many pitches he gets out. I'm guessing it's going to be kind of like a bullpen session, 40, 50 pitches live in action. Dodgers, though, they rallied behind their guy. There's no real way to bet this game at -240 unless you want to add it to a money line parlay. And I don't think it's worth adding a -$2.40 favorite into a parlay that's relying upon other things happening with a pitcher that hasn't made his first start of the season. So I'm going to stay away from this one as well. However, if we had any other pitcher than Ty Anderson, I would be diving into the over 9. But I think a safe bet in this game, it's kind of going back to the Padres handicap, just avenging yesterday's performance. So zigzagging, Dodgers go over the total, Dodgers run line, anything you want to get behind in that. But I think that the runs in this game would be how I would approach it if you weren't going to look into player props. And I would highly be impressed, and we're going to look just for argument's sake, I would highly be impressed from a player prop perspective if they even had any kind of, they don't, just strikeouts, okay? I'd be very impressed if they had any kind of market for Clayton Kershaw in terms of outs, outs recorded. Okay, so that's where I'm at. I'm not going to get involved, but I do favor the Dodgers team total. Same reasoning as I did with the Padres. Just kind of expecting some reversion to the mean. We're going to see them bounce back. All right. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I will recap today's plays. We'll get into that right now. The 5 bets that I will be giving out, official plays, that will be the Cubs over team total 5.5. A little bit of juice on that one, minus 137. San Diego to not bat in the 9th at a minus 125 price. Tyler Mahle, and that is available on DraftKings. And if you guys find another sports book that does offer to not bat in the 9th, leave it down below in the comments. Tyler Mahle to have under 6 hits, so it's 5.5. So he does not get 6 hits in his start. Minus 135 on DK. Braves, Red Sox over 9 at minus 120. And we're going to take another total here with the Athletics and Giants over the total of 8 at minus 114. All right. Appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and join us here at TBM Sports. Good luck on your picks. Have a great Saturday, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Cheers.